Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a soon-to-release game called MagicBook Auto Battler. The game should be releasing in 2 days on January 13th. So let's get into it. This is my first time playing it. I have no previous experience with it. The time I'm recording the audio, though, I've played a few rounds. And I've learned a few things that I'll give some tips and tricks with each playthrough. So, at the beginning here, you get to choose different weapon types that you want to put up there. And I was kind of reading through some of the abilities, and I was just like, oh, cool, gun and axe. Didn't really know what any of them did. And eventually I just decided, you know what? I tend to like to go with random anyways, so I'm going to settle on random. Best way to look at the stuff, though, is think of like an MMO where you have the Holy Trinity. You kind of have your tank, you have melee DPS, range DPS, and support/healers. So like, each piece of gear is labeled in a different type to match what it falls under. And then if the more pieces of gear you have to match that type, the more bonuses your team gets. Here you can see those bonuses. And then you get into the little battles here. You don't have any control of the characters during the battle. So you just build up your heroes outside of the battle, and then they just auto attack based on what you've built up. And then you can refresh the store page. So like this helmet here is a healer helm, hence the little green symbol you'll see on it. And then you can upgrade your shop over there on the left. This would be a tanking helm that I was hovering over. And then the enemies that you fight, you can look at them up top, and you can get different rewards. So sometimes it's good to refresh the store to look for a good set of rewards. So here I'm just kind of playing around with the gear, trying to figure out what's what. I hadn't quite realized like the different sets quite yet. Here's where you can put down, if you buy more heroes than what you have, you can store them down here. And then you put them up top as what you're actually going to send into battle. Now I just got a bow, and this is a mage shoulder pads. And then a healer staff. So now I've kind of turned the first character into a healer. The second character now is kind of being turned into the archer. Kind of just comparing the attack damage stat based on who I give the bow to. Barely scraped by on that one. Now as you see on the right there, the character is called a Pious Adventurer. So now he is going to be better at healing than the other characters I bought, who are more thief-like characters. Alright, so in here you can combine 3 random grays to make a green. or they can have a chance to just fail and become a gray. And that works for the same. 3 greens has a chance to become a blue, or it can fail and it can just be a green. If you put 3 of the same green or any color in there, it will make the next tier. You can also salvage them for a material, and 6 of the material will upgrade a piece of gear. Alright, these are relics that give you different buffs. These go underneath your normal sets of gear, and they are extremely powerful. And then these are blessings. Blessings are just little potions that basically buff all your heroes as opposed to a specific hero. Alright, so I picked up the healing necklace. And now I have another thief melee DPS, most likely dex base. What I found a good way to kind of figure out what stats work best for each character is if you take off all their gear and you see what their primary stat is. So like if they have no gear on and their dexterity is their highest stat, then you know that they would be good for either, you know, a thief or archer. Strength is either tank or bruiser. And then here's where you can smelt them. You get the gray piece off to the side there. Now see, I'm learning here. You need 6 and I only have 5. So I can't tier it up yet. Seeing if it's different costs for your different pieces. And they're all the same. Now, I'm kind of just buying everything here as I'm learning everything. But you're going to want to go into each round with kind of a build in mind. So now I have 10 of those materials, and I'll be able to synthesize a green version, thus upgrading my healing staff. Now I have my intelligence is increased by 5% because I have enough healing items. Yeah, my team setup in this first video is terrible. I'll be releasing another video tomorrow where I show an actual run where I'm a little bit more skilled at it, and I hope you check that out. This is kind of just my first impressions of the game. It's got a lot of potential, so when the full release happens on the 13th, be sure to check it out. And I will just kind of cut the video here, and I'll skip more towards the end of the run where you can kind of see what I've done with my build as I've learned a little bit more of the mechanics of the game. Alright, welcome back. I'm a little bit further into the round now. I do fail this mission, just to give you a heads up. But as you see, I've filled out my team. Kind of got my melee to the right so that they go in first. I have one healer, one mage. I've got a shielder as a support, an archer. I've got 2 bruisers and a thief. I tried, when I was making my team here, I tried to go with the concepts of what I would think a balanced party would look like for like D&D or World of Warcraft or something like that, where you want, you know, front lines, melee DPS, range DPS. This works for the most part, and it is a good starting strategy when you start learning. And it'll work really well if you do random runs. If you pick your weapons, there's going to be some very meta builds where you only need, you know, two guardians, 2 bruisers, and they're going to carry you through most of it. Alright, let's take a look at the build in action. As you can see, the build is not working out very well right now. Unfortunately, I only have the 1 healer, and the healing isn't able to keep up with the damage that is being outputted. And this is largely to do with poor optimization of my team and poor use of my funds in the early game. You really want to snowball your early game into the middle and then even more so into the late game, so that way you can keep ahead of the curve on damage. Like I said, this was my first ever run. I had no prior, you know, knowledge of the game. And I hope to share, you know, my next video with you guys where I can show you a more strategic run and show my tips and tricks on how to, you know, fully clear your first run. Including some of the talents that you get for beating each run. So I hope you'll check that out tomorrow. If you have anything you want me to cover in the game, just let me know, and I'll be happy to. And like I said, the game comes out on the 13th of January. I'll probably be picking it up myself. I might even be doing a live stream of it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.